Who Jambo Habari Gari Furaha Seven Siku. Happy 7th day. Furaha Seven Siku. Mimi niko better na wewe. I love you. Moja Rubain. One love. Furaha Seven Siku. How y'all doing? Back at it. One more time. As always, reading from the Book of Life, what it calls itself 7 times in Revelations. Yeah, I'm reading out of Leviticus. Leviticus. Kiswahili. Leviticus. Moja. Bill. Tattoo. Third book of Moses. Tattoo. Moses Billy Tattoo. Third book of Moses. Chapter 22. Leviticus. Then the God spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they do not profane my holy name by what they dedicate to me. I am the God. Say to them, whoever of all your descendants throughout your generation who goes near the holy things which the children of Israel dedicated to the God, while he has uncleanness upon him, that person shall be cut off from my presence. I am the God. Whatever man of the descendants of Aaron who is a leper or has a discharge shall not eat the holy offerings until he is clean. And whoever touches anything made unclean by a corpse, or a man who has had an emission of semen, or whoever touches any creeping thing by which he would be made unclean, or any person by whom he would become unclean, whatever his uncleanness may be. The person who has touched any such thing shall be unclean until evening, and shall not eat the holy offering until he washes his body with water. And when the sun goes down, he shall be clean, and afterwards he may eat the holy offering, because it is his food. Whatever dies naturally or is torn by beasts, he shall not eat to defile himself with it. I am the God. They shall therefore keep my ordinance, lest they bear sin for it and die thereby. If they profane it, I, the God, sanctify them. No outsider shall eat the holy offering. One who dwells with the priest or a hired servant shall not eat the holy thing. But if the priest buys a person with his money, he may eat it, and one who is born in his house may eat his food. If the priest's daughter is married to an outsider, she may not eat of the holy offering. But if the priest's daughter is a widow or divorced and has no child, and has returned to her father's house as in her youth, she may eat her father's food, but no outsider shall eat it. And if a man eats the holy offering unintentionally, then he shall restore a holy offering to the priest and add 1/5 to it. They shall not profane the holy offerings of the children of Israel, which they offer to the God, or allow them to bear the guilt of trespass when they eat their holy offering. For I, the God, sanctify them. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, and to all the children of Israel, and say to them, Whatever man of the house of Israel or of the strangers in Israel who offers a sacrifice for any of his vows or for any of his freewill offerings, which they offer to the God as a burnt offering. Ye shall offer of your own free will a male without blemish from the cattle, from the sheep, or from the goats. Whatever has a defect you shall not offer, for it shall not be acceptable on your behalf. And whoever offers a sacrifice of a peace offering to the God to fulfill his vow, or a freewill offering from the cattle or the sheep, it must be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. Those that are blind or broken or maimed, or have ulcer or eczema or scab, you shall not offer to the God, nor make an offering by fire on the altar to the God. Either a bull or a lamb that has any limb too long or too short, you may offer as a freewilling offering. But for a vow it shall not be accepted. You shall not offer to the God what is bruised or crushed or torn or cut, nor shall you make any offering of them in your land. Nor from a foreigner's hand shall you offer any of these as the bread of your God. because their corruption is in them and defects are in them. They shall not be accepted on your behalf. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, when a bull or a sheep or a goat is born, it shall be 7 days with his mother, and from the 8th day and thereafter it shall be accepted as an offering made by fire to the God. Whether it is a cow or ewe, do not kill both her and her young on the same day. And when you offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the God, offer it of your own free will. On the same day it shall be eaten, and ye shall leave none of it until morning. I am the God. Therefore you shall keep my commandments and perform them. I am the God. You shall not profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed amongst the children of Israel. I am the God who sanctifies you, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the God. Chapter 23. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, the feast of the God, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of solemn rest, a holy convocation. You shall do no work on it. It is the Sabbath of the God in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the God, holy convocations which you shall proclaim at their appointed time. On the 4th day of the first month at twilight is the God's Passover. And on the 5th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread to the God. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it, but you shall offer an offering made by fire to the God for 7 days. The 7th day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land which I give to you, and reap its harvest, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest. He shall wave the sheaf before the God to be accepted on your behalf on the day after the Sabbath. The priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer on that day when you have waved the sheaf a male lamb of the first year without blemish as a burnt offering to the God. Its grain offering shall be 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering made by fire to the God for a sweet aroma, and its drink offering shall be of wine, 1/5 of a hin. Ye shall eat neither bread nor parched grain nor fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count for yourselves from the day after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be completed. Count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall offer a new grain offering to the God. You shall bring from your dwellings 2 wave loaves of 2/10 of an ephah. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven. They are the first fruits to the God. And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, 1 young bull and 2 rams. They shall be as a burnt offering to the God. With their grain offering and their drink offerings, an offering made by fire for a sweet aroma to the God. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and 2 male lambs of the first year as a sacrifice of a peace offering. The priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits as a wave offering before the God with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to the God for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the same day that it is a holy convocation to you. You shall do no customary work on it. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. When you reap the harvest of your land, ye shall not wholly reap the corners of your field when you reap, nor shall you gather any gleaning from your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am the God, your God. Then the God spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a Sabbath rest, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to the God. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, also The 10th day of this 7th month shall be the day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire to the God. And you shall do no work on that same day, for it is the day of atonement to make atonement for you before the God, your God. For any person who is not afflicted in his soul on the same day, he shall be cut off from his people. And any person who does any work on that same day, that person I will destroy from among his people. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and ye shall afflict your souls. On the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening to evening, you shall celebrate your Sabbath. Then the God spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days to the God. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. For 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire to the God. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall offer an offer made by fire to the God. It is a sacred assembly, and ye shall do no customary work on it. These are the feasts of the God, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire to the God, a burnt offering and a grain offering, and sacrifice and drink offerings, everything on its day, besides the Sabbath of the God, besides your gifts, besides all your vows, and besides all your free will offerings which you give to the God. Also on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep the feast of the God for 7 days. On the first day there shall be a Sabbath rest, and on the 8th day a Sabbath rest. And ye shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of beautiful trees, branches of palm trees, the boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the God, your God, for 7 days. Ye shall keep it as a feast to the God for 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generation. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths for 7 days. All who are native Israelites shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the God, your God. So Moses declared to the children of Israel the feast of the God. Chapter 24. Then the God spoke to Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring to you pure oil of pressed olives for the light, to make the lamps burn continually outside the veil of the testimony in the tabernacle of meeting. Aaron shall be in charge of it from evening until morning before the God. Continually it shall be a statute forever in your generations. He shall be in charge of the lamp on the pure gold lampstand before the God continually. And ye shall take fine flour and bake 12 cakes with it. 2/10 of an ephah shall be in each cake. You shall set them in 2 rows, 6 in a row, on a pure gold table before the God. And you shall put pure frankincense on each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial, an offering made by fire to the God. Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before the God, continually being taken from the children of Israel by an everlasting covenant. And it shall be for Aaron and his sons, and they shall eat it in a holy place, for it is most holy to him from the offerings of the God made by fire, by a perpetual statute. Now the son of an Israelite woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel, and his Israelite woman's son, and this Israelite woman's son and a man of Israel fought each other in the camp. And the Israelite woman's son blasphemed the name of the God and cursed. And so they brought him to Moses. His mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri of the family of Dan. Then they put him in custody, that the mind of the God might be shown to them. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, Take outside the camp him who was cursed, and let all who heard him lay their hands on his head, and let all the congregation stone him. Then you shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, Whoever curses his God shall bear his sins, and whoever blasphemes the name of the God shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall certainly stone him, the stranger, as well as him who was born in the land. When he blasphemes the name of the God, he shall be put to death. Whoever kills any man shall surely be put to death. Whoever kills an animal shall make it good, animal for animal. If a man causes disfigurement of his neighbor as he has done, so shall it be done to him. Fraction for fraction, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he has caused disfigurement of a man, so shall it be done to him. And whoever kills an animal shall restore, but whoever kills a man shall be put to death. You shall have the same law for the stranger and for one from your own country, for I am the God, your God. Then Moses spoke to the children of Israel, and they took outside the camp him who had cursed, and stoned him with stones. So the children of Israel did as the God commanded Moses. Chapter 25. And the God spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land which I give you, then the land shall keep its Sabbath to the God. 6 years you shall sow your field, and 6 years you shall prune your vineyard and gather its fruit. But in the 7th year there shall be a Sabbath of solemn rest for the land, a Sabbath to the God. You shall neither sow your field nor prune your vineyard. What grows of its own accord of your harvest you shall not reap, nor gather the grapes of your untended vine, for it is a year of rest for the land. And the Sabbath produce of the land shall be food for you, your male and female servants, your hired man and the stranger who dwells with you, for your livestock and the beasts that are in your land. All its produce shall be for food. And ye shall count 7 Sabbaths of years for yourselves, 7 times 7 years. And the time of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be to you 49 years. Then you shall cause the trumpet of the Jubilee. Then you shall cause the trumpet of Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the day of atonement you shall make the trumpet to sound throughout all your land. And you shall consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. And each of you shall return to his possession, each of you shall return to his family. That 50th year shall be a jubilee to you. In it you shall neither sow nor reap what grows of its own accord, nor gather the grapes of your untended vine, for it is the jubilee, it shall be holy to you. You shall eat its produce from the field. In this year of jubilee, each of you shall return to his possession. And if you sell anything to your neighbor or buy from your neighbor's hand, you shall not oppress one another. According to the number of years after the jubilee, you shall buy from your neighbor, and according to the number of years of crops, he shall sell to you. According to the multitude of years, you shall increase his price, and according to the fewer number of years, you shall diminish his price. And for he who sells to you, according to the number of years of the crops. Therefore ye shall not oppress one another, but ye shall fear your God, for I am the God, your God. So you shall observe my statutes and keep my judgments and perform them, and you will dwell in the land in safety. Then the land will yield its fruit, and you will eat your fill and dwell there in safety. And if you say, What shall we eat in the 7th year, since we shall not sow nor gather in our produce? Then I will command my blessings on you in the 6th year, and it will bring forth produce enough for 3 years. And ye shall sow in the 8th year, and eat on the excuse me. And you shall sow in the 8th year and eat old produce until the 9th year, until its produce comes in. You shall eat of the old harvest. The land shall not be sold permanently, for the land is mine for you are strangers and sojourners with me. Wow. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 23. The land shall not be sold permanently, for the land is mine, the God of gods, for you are strangers and sojourners with me. And in all the land of your possession ye shall grant redemption of the land. If one of your brethren becomes poor and has sold some of his possession, and if his redeeming relative comes to redeem it, then he may redeem what his brother sold. Or if the man has no one to redeem it, but he himself becomes able to redeem it, then let him count the years since his sale and restore the remainder to the man to whom he sold it, that he may return to his possession. But if he is not able to have it restored to himself, then what was sold shall remain in the hand of him who bought it until the year of Jubilee, and in the Jubilee it shall be released, and he shall return to his possession. If a man sells a house in a walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold. Within a full year he may redeem it. But if it is not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house in the walled city shall belong permanently to him who bought it. Throughout his generations, it shall not be released in the Jubilee. However, the houses of villages which have no wall around them shall be counted as the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall be released in the Jubilee. Nevertheless, the cities of the Levites and the houses in the cities of their possession, the Levites may redeem at any time. And if a man purchases a house from the Levites, then the house that was sold in the city of his possession shall be released in the Jubilee. For the house and the cities of the Levites are their possession among the children of Israel. But the field of the common land of their cities may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possession. If one of your brethren becomes poor and falls into poverty among you, then you shall help him like a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with you. Take no usury or interest from him, but fear your God, that your brother may live with you. You shall not lend him your money for usury, nor lend him your food at a profit. I am the God, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of the Canaan and to be your God. And if one of your brothers who dwells by you becomes poor and sells himself to you, you shall not compel him to serve as a slave. As a hired servant and a sojourner, he shall be with you, and shall serve you until the year of Jubilee. And then he shall depart from you, and he and his children with him, and shall return to his own family. He shall return to the possession of his fathers. For they are my servants, whom I brought of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as slaves. You shall not rule over him with rigor, but you shall fear your God. And as for your male and female slaves, whom you may have from the nations that are around you, from them you may buy male and female slaves. Moreover, you may buy the children of the strangers who dwell among you, and their families who are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall become your property, and you may take them. Remember now, look at this. Moreover, you shall buy the children of the strangers who dwell among you, and their families who are with you, that they begat in your land, and they shall become your property. Yeah, Leviticus chapter 25, verse 45. They was buying and selling people back then. There was such a thing as masters and slaves. That's why I don't call the God of God no master. Master. Man was a man, master over man. It's right there. There were slaves back then. They ain't like that, you know. You're always trying to act like the white man did something. He didn't do that. We were the first ones to be slaves, and we were the first ones to create slaves. We were the first. We were the first. We were the first. Anyhow, more, and you may take take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them as a possession. They shall be your permanent slaves. But regarding your brethren, the children of Israel, you shall not rule over one another with rigor. Now, if a sojourner or stranger close to you becomes rich, and one of your brethren who dwells by him becomes poor, and sells himself to the stranger or sojourner close to you, or to a member of the stranger's family, after he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brothers may redeem him, or his uncle's son may redeem him, or anyone who is near of kin to him in his family may redeem him. For if he is able, he may redeem his, or excuse me, or if he is able, he may redeem himself. Thus he shall reckon with him who bought him. The price of his release shall be according to the number of years, from the year that he was sold to him until the year of Jubilee. It shall be according to the time of a hired servant for him. If there are still many years remaining, according to them he shall repay the price of his redemption from the money with which he was bought. And if there remain but a few years until the year of Jubilee, then he shall reckon with him, and according to his years he shall repay him the price of his redemption. He shall be with him as a yearly hired servant, and he shall not rule with rigor over him in your sight. And if he is not redeemed in these years, then he shall be released in the year of Jubilee, and he and his children with him. For the children of Israel are servants to me. They are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. I am the God, your God. Chapter 26. Ye shall not make idols for yourself, neither a carved image nor a sacred pillar shall you rear for yourself, nor shall you set up an engraved stone in your land to bow down to it. For I am the God, your God. Chapter 26, my bad, I apologize. Chapter 26, you shall not make idols for yourself, neither a carved image. I'm trying to tell y'all crazy people, our cross. He was hung upon a tree, Acts 5. He was hung upon a tree, Acts 10. He was took down from a tree, Acts 13. Right. Where did the cross come in? It's a graven image. He already said no graven image. Continue. Chapter 26, verse 2. You shall keep my Sabbath and reverence my sanctuary. I am the God. If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and perform them, then I will give you rain in its season. The land shall yield its produce, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. Your thrashing shall last till the time of vintage, and the vintage shall last till the time of sowing. You shall eat your bread to the full and dwell in your land safely. I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none will make you afraid. I will rid the land of evil beasts, and the sword will not go through your land. You will chase your enemies, and they shall fall by the sword before you. 5 of you shall chase 100. Wow. Chapter 26, verse 8. Wow. Leviticus. 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. Your enemies shall fall by the sword before you. Wow. I gotta say that. Wow. I never seen that. Wow. Leviticus. Chapter 26, verse 8. 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. Your enemies shall fall by the sword before you. For I will look on you favorably and make you fruitful, multiply you, and confirm my covenant with you. Ye shall eat the old harvest and clear out the old because of the new. I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. I will walk among you and be your God, and you shall be my people. I am the God, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that you should not be their slaves. I have broken the hands of your yoke. I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you walk upright. But if you do not obey me and do not observe all these commandments, if you despise my statutes, or if your soul abhors my judgment, so that you do not perform all my commandments, but break my covenant, I also will do this to you. I will even appoint terror over you, wasting disease and fever, which shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. Wow. I will set my face against you, and you shall be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when no one pursues you. Wow. And after all this, if you do not obey me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. I will break the pride of your power. Wow. I will make your heavens like iron, and your earth like bronze. And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield its produce, nor shall the trees of the land yield their fruit. Then, if you walk contrary to me and are willing to obey me, I will bring on you 7 times more plagues according to your sins. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children, destroy your livestock, and make you few in number, and your highways shall be desolate. And if by these things you are not reformed by me, but walk contrary to me, then I also will walk contrary to you, and I will punish you yet 7 times for your sin. And I will bring a sword against you that will execute the vengeance of the covenant. When you are gathered together within your cities, I will send pestilence among you, and you shall be delivered into the hand of your enemy. When I have cut off your supply of bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall bring back your bread by weight, and ye shall eat and not be satisfied. And after all this, if you do not obey me, but walk contrary to me, then I also will walk contrary to you in fury, and I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. You shall eat the flesh of your sons, and you shall eat the flesh of your daughters. Wow. I will destroy your high places, cut down your incense altars, and cast your carcass on the lifeless forms of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. I will lay your cities waste and bring your sanctuaries to desolation, and I will not smell the fragrance of your sweet aromas. I will bring the land to desolation. Your enemies who dwell in it shall be astonished at it. I will scatter you amongst the nations and draw the sword after you. Your land shall be desolate and your cities waste. Then the land shall enjoy its Sabbath as long as it lies desolate, and you are in your enemies' lands. Then the land shall rest and enjoy its Sabbath. Wow. Wow. Then the land shall rest and enjoy it. As long as it lies desolate, it shall rest. For the time it did not rest on your Sabbath when you dwelt in it. And as for those of you who are left, I will send faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies. The sound of a shaken leaf shall cause them to flee. They shall flee as though fleeing from the sword, and they shall fall when no one pursues them. They shall stumble over one another as it were before a sword, when no one pursues, and you shall have no power to stand before your enemies. You shall perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And those of you who are left shall waste away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands, also in their fathers' iniquities, which are with them, they shall waste away. But if they confess their iniquities and the iniquities of the fathers with their unfaithfulness in which they were unfaithful to me, and that they also have walked contrary to me, and that also have walked contrary to them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If their uncircumcised hearts are humbled, and they accept their guilt, Then I will remember my covenant with Jacob and my covenant with Isaac and my covenant with Abraham. I will remember. I will remember the land. The land also shall be left empty by them and will enjoy its Sabbaths while it lies desolate without them. They will accept their guilt because they despised my judgments and because their soul abhorred my statutes. Yet for all that, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, nor shall I abhor them, to utterly destroy them and break my covenant with them. For I am the God, your God. Yet for all that, I will not. Something sound about, something sound about. Yet for all that, I will not. But for their sake, I will remember the covenant of their ancestors when I brought them out the land of Egypt in the sight of the nations, that I might be their God. I am the God. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the God made between himself and the children of Israel on Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Wow, just told you. I saw this on about chapter 27. Now the God spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, say to them, when a man consecrates by a vow certain proportions to be God, according to your valid evaluation, value, valuation, yeah, valuation. If your valuation is of a male from 20 years old up to 60 years old, then your valuation shall be 50 shekels of silver according to the shekel of the sanctuary. If it is a female, then your valuation shall be 30 shekels. And if from 5 years old up to 20 years old, then your valuation for a male shall be 20 shekels and for a female 10 shekels. And if for a month old up to 5 years old, then your valuation for a male shall be 5 shekels of silver, and for a female, your valuation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And if from 60 years old and above, if it is a male, then your valuation shall be 15 shekels, and for a female, 10 shekels. But if he is too poor to pay your valuation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall set a value for him according to the ability of him who vowed. The priest shall value him. If it is an animal that men may bring as an offering to the God, all that anyone gives to the God shall be holy. He shall not substitute it or exchange it good for bad or bad for good. And if he at all exchange animal for animal, then both it and the one exchanged for it shall be holy. If it is an unclean animal which they do not offer as a sacrifice to the God, then he shall present the animal before the priest. And the priest shall set a value for it, whether it is good or bad, as you, the priest, value it, so it shall be. But if he wants it at all to redeem it, then he must add 1/5 to your valuation. And when a man dedicates his house to be holy to the God, then the priest shall set a value for it, whether it is good or bad, as the priest values it, so it shall stand. If he who dedicated it wants to redeem himself, then he must add 1/5 of the money of your valuation to it, and it shall be his. If a man dedicates to the God part of a field of his possession, then your valuation shall be according to the seed for it. A homer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. If he dedicates his field from the year of you, you, babe, you be, you be lay according to your valuation it shall stand. But if he dedicates his field after the jubilee, then the priest shall reckon to him the money due according to the years that remain till the year of jubilee, and it shall be deducted from your valuation. And if he who dedicates the field ever wishes to redeem it, then he must add 1/5 of the money of your valuation to it, and it shall belong to him. But if he does not want to redeem the field, or if he has sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed anymore. But the field, when it is released in the Ubed shall be holy to the God, as a devoted field, it shall be the possession of the priest. And if a man dedicates to the God a field which he has bought, which is not the field of his possession, then the priest shall reckon to him the worth of your valuation up to the year of Ubed, and he shall give your valuations on a day as a holy offering to the God. In the year of Ubed, the field shall return to him from whom it was brought, to the one who owned the land as possession. And all your valuations shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary, 20 gerahs to the shekel. But the firstborn of the animals, which should be the God's firstborn, no man shall dedicate, whether it is the ox or sheep, it is the God's. And if it is an unclean animal, then he shall redeem it according to your valuation, and shall add 1/5 to it. Or if it is not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to your valuation. Nevertheless, no devoted offering that a man may devote to the God of all that he has, both man and beast, or the field of his possessions, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted offering is most holy to the God. No person under the ban who may become doomed to destruction among men shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. And all the today, all the today of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the God's. It is holy to the God. If a man wants it all to redeem any of his tithes, he shall add 1/5 to it. And concerning the tithe of the herd or the flock of whatever passes under the rod, the 10th one shall be holy to the God. He shall not inquire whether it is good or bad, nor shall he exchange it. And if he exchanges it at all, then both it and the one exchanged for it shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed. These are the commandments which the God commanded Moses for the children of Israel on Mount Sinai. That's the end of the book, of the third book of Moses, Leviticus. Next, Salasiku, Numbers. We'll start with the numbers. Oh, numbers. Numbers. Your numbers is very important thing, baby. Like I was just reading that. And look at the numbers. 1/10, 1/10, 1/10. Numbers. Always numbers, man. Always numbers. Oh, what is zero? What is nothing? What is nothing? What is it? What is zero? What is zero? Is it really such a thing as nothing? What is nothing? What's going on? Nothing. Is it really nothing going on? Ain't you alive? Ain't you here? Man, what you doing? Nothing. You're sitting down, so you're doing something. Is it really nothing? uh, anyhow, asante sana. Moja kupenda. Ah, mimi ni kupenda na wewe. Asante sana. Furaha sana siku. Furaha sana siku. Furaha sana siku. Mimi ni kupenda na wewe. Moja kupenda. Peace.